presentation.
There are some of the facts we must know about China. Most of us know China very well. China, some of the other, is everybody's life today. And some of the facts which they have taken now the lead in the world, I'll just narrate for you. China snatches #1 slot on economic fronts. China overtakes US as world's largest auto market. China has highest number of mobile phones in the world. China second largest banking in the world after US, and India is number 3. China has highest numbers of ATM machines. High-speed rail network set to take global lead. Production begins on Chinese Jammu Jet plant. Record grain output to stabilize global price. Food consumption has gone up by 40%. China farmers per capita income hits $735. China second only to US in research. Tremendous investment on research. China starts healthcare reforms. China launches first environmental industry fund. China opened the world's longest bridge over water. China launches mission to moon successfully. Out of 15 longest bridges in the world, China has 11 of them. There are many more achievements, and they are constantly achieving and creating landmarks. Some of the interesting pictures I would like to show you all about China. This is the region which is leading to Lhasa, and China has recently created, after 4 years of railway network from Beijing to Lhasa, 4,600 kilometers. This is the region. If you see the region, I have recently traveled on this region, and I can say what we talk about the Akash and Patal, that you can really feel when you are traveling on this region. This is the train to Lhasa. It takes 48 hours, and it's a very good journey, very comfortable train, and it shows the vision what Chinese have followed. This costed $5 billion US. This is the inside of the trains. This is the train going over the bridges. This is the station of Lhasa. This is Lhasa railway station lobby, Lhasa railway station exit court. This is the train going through the region. This is a photo of the longest bridge. This is bullet train to Beijing to Shanghai, which has reduced the traveling time by 4 hours. Earlier it used to take 8 hours, now it takes 4 hours. Aircraft carrier of China. This is a new concept in China. They have taken the biggest advantage of the fall of Russian Empire, and they have bought a lot of assets. This is the old aircraft carrier which was purchased, which was known as Kyiv carrier, and this is converted into a 5-star hotel now. This is China's aircraft carrier, and this is China's first steel bomber next to USA, which China is building. It will be out in the next 5 years. These are the photos of Russian aircraft carrier Kyiv converted into the hotel. This has 49 suites. The story of China emergence, how the China has come to have the position what they have today as the world's workshop. It starts with the story of one of the most enthusiastic customers, the United States of America. In the aftermath of the World War II, American officials decided that the country's foreign policy interests were best served by helping rebuilding the global economy. The policymakers were convinced of the economy and the security benefits of the free trade, and the US businesses wanted markets for their products overseas. Washington poured money into the reconstruction of industry in Europe and Japan, and encouraged imports to recreate foreign economy through trade, not aid. Reversing earlier policies that protected American industry by keeping import tariffs high, post-war officials lowered them. President Truman reassured the public that American labor can now produce so much more than low-priced foreign labor in given a day's work that our workmen need no longer fear, as they were justified in fearing in the past, the competition of the foreign workers. Over the following years, the American government continued to promote free trade. By the time China emerged from 3 decades of relative isolation in 1978, American consumers were accustomed to seeing foreign labels on their shoes, clothing, toys, and American manufacturers were in the habit of fighting back. China did not have labor law until 1994. Since it came into the effect the following year, the law has mandated an average 44 hours work week with no more than 36 hours of overtime per month. However, flexibility were provided that labor laws where workers and owners can come to flexible terms for the longer working hours. Partly as a result of these factors, there is a competition in the production of many simple consumer products. Log on to the Alibaba.com, which everybody knows today, a leading website that connects buyers with the factories in China, and type in any item. A search for lamps find more than 5,800 companies making every kind of lamp you could want. More than 5,500 will make you an MP3 player. More than 11,000 companies produces T-shirts. Check back in 6 months, and then the number will have risen consistently. Why it is so tough to do business in China? Because you don't have 1-2 competitors. You have more than, for any product you want, you have 1,000 to 5,000 manufacturers who are competing among themselves. That's why they can offer very, very reasonable levels of prices. The Canton Fair, which has started in 1957, was China's window to the world, which is very widely attended, and it is eye-opener for anybody who is in the fair, and it shows the development speed of China. Change was underway around the country, but Guangzhou province changed more quickly than anywhere else. For centuries before Communist Party came to power, trade has been a way of life along the Pearl River, which curls through the center of the province. Canton, the old name for Guangzhou, has been a trading hub as far back as Song Dynasty, which lasted from 960 to 1279. China devalued the renminbi and lifted taxes on the parts used to assemble exports, hoping to replicate the success of making oriented reforms in the country. The government gave managers more powers to control production and where they bought material. Enterprise were allowed to keep more profits and give it more freedom in hiring, firing, and promoting workers. China, the largest populated nation that has over the last 2 decades successfully embraced what is called a socialist market economy, has nosed up one more destination. Its forex reserves, mainly in US dollar, recently crossed more than 1 trillion marks. China has been registering double-digit GDP growth rates in the recent past due to the host of favorable factors. Its cheap labor, flexible investment policies have been attracting huge foreign direct investments constantly. It is no surprise that 40% of FDI flows goes into the emerging market, which is China. Part of the reason for this is the China arrival as a mass producer of consumer goods, coincided with a dramatic shift in the manufacturing processes with the adoption of new technology, and this allowed wide variety of goods to be diverted into tiny standardized steps that could be performed by multiple companies. That's why China focus is very clear. The deliveries are faster, and you can purchase very large volumes of any goods. This shift has also made it easier for companies that control the supply chain, often the Western brands and the retailers, to speed up the production process in industries such as toys, manufacturing, or introduce new models faster to take advantage of rapidly changing technology or to simultaneous consumer demand. Many Chinese factories are smaller, shakier institutions. The commodification, China has commodified every production facilities. You want 10 million shirts today, destination is China. You want 100,000 MP3 players, the destination is China. And they have done it so successfully that if you are paying the right price, if you negotiate the right price, I am sure you will get the best of the products. Commodification of manufacturing and the Chinese government emphasis on economic growth has made it easier to gain a foothold in the global supply chain. Foreign investors enjoy greater privileges. In the name of promoting economic growth, local governments will go out of the way, even violating their own laws to help you out. Officials will set aside land, building factories, and find workers. They will slash taxes, offer rent-free periods and waves. My recent experience just 3 months ago, we were in Tanjing region, and we had a meeting with the mayor. The first question of the mayor was that how many people you are going to employ. We said in a 6 months' time we'll employ 1,000 people. The mayor office told us that you can go around with my people and see the buildings which is owned by the state, and if any of these buildings can be used by you, we'll give you free of cost. We'll also give you the power for 6 months at the weekend tariffs. So the government is all out to help out the business, and you can land on a Chinese airport with 100 kgs of gold and report to the bank counter and tell them this is what you want to do, and the bank will go out of the way to help you out. Some of the interesting points while dealing with China. China says it is evolving into a socialist market economy with Chinese characteristics. While critics consider this difficult to digest, however, this is the result of long and complex transition from a planned economy to more of a market economy. Figuring out how to navigate this transition is obviously complex. Foreign executives are usually naive. not aware of Chinese politics, Chinese systems, and Chinese thinking. If you come across 100 people who are dealing with China, everybody will have different experiences and variation would be tremendous. This is because Chinese are very focused, and for them, world is the market, and they never say no to the business. Foreigners are often not aware of competing interests among the central, provincial, and municipal level of the government, and on each level among diverse commissions, ministries, agencies, departments, and bureaucracy with overlapping interests. On the personal level, lack of awareness is often worse. Foreign executive imagine that if they have a pleasant meeting with the CEO of a state-owned company, or surely if they are encouraged by a government official responsible for that industry sector, then they have a high likelihood of achieving this goal. They do not appreciate the desperately personal loyalties and the threat through most Chinese organizations or customary mechanism of decision making that usually require agreement at multiple levels. In many organizations, someone quite low in the power structure, someone surely unknown to the foreigners may maintain effective veto power. This can be done. Everything has gone right, but suddenly you will find that things have flopped. Using powerful tools, politics used properly can be a powerful tool for getting deals done, larger deals particularly, and keeping joint ventures on track. In structuring one very large joint venture in China, a European manufacturers multinational found itself at standstill. After long negotiation, it decided to take a risk by inviting the most senior provisional leader, the party secretary, to participate in the discussion. Involving the senior leaders directly could be ill-advised because this typically no appeal or whatever decision he makes. However, the foreign companies had done it homework very well. I knew that in the party secretary previous position in Ganzhou province, he had shown greater innovations. The gamble worked. To this day, the party secretary speaks of this high-profile successful deal as source of personal pride in a case that highlights the importance of personal relationship. A Japanese multinational sought entry into an industry requiring a special license by emerging a large state-owned company in a similar industry as its partner. After months of futility, the Japanese executive realized that although their Chinese partners was in the same industry, it was less powerful than the Chinese partner chosen by the Japanese company. Chief international rivals. As a result, their license applications was blocked. After doing sensitivity political analysis using politics-savvy consultants, they were introduced to a much smaller Chinese company in a different industry, but one whose executive have deep personal relationship going back to the colleges with key regulators. The Japanese then got the license. While dealing with China, there is a sequence of people you come across. Most of the places where you are dealing, it is the SEZs. Like there is a one, Hanan district makes only fireworks, X makes only textiles, X makes only accessories for the textiles. There you have a set of the people. You have all the people, you have brokers, designers, the manufacturers, and it is very systematic. But you should not try to overcome one or two people and then the deal can be lost. Obviously, the foreigners cannot disconcern all the politics around and within Chinese organizations, and indeed most foreign executives do business in China without ever appreciating it. What happens, though, is that the politically never understand why their deals is delayed or aborted or how negotiations can be successfully problems averted and issues resolved. Very important do's and don't do's while dealing for conducting business in China. Conduct quietly. Do not sing songs. What generally people have the habit that we are doing this, we are doing big or we are doing small. Conduct quietly, analyze of those you are dealing with, assess political factions and alliances between individuals within the government agencies. If you are going for a larger contracts, you will definitely need support from the government agencies, partners, suppliers, customers, and competitors who can affect your business. Build relationship with key people, personals as well as professionals. This concern their real objectives and understand their background, education, hometown, families, prior jobs, relationships, and aspirations. Cater to the most senior executives or officials in every meeting. Chinese organizations are still built on strict hierarchies. They cannot be overlapped, and foreign executives must be sensitive to that. Align your interests with those of Chinese partners and managers, structures, organize your business to be as self-regulated as possible, as if there are neither legal contracts nor internal controls. Even if you have a full-fledged, proper legal contract, there is a possibility that this cannot be honored. Awareness is critical. Once politics are understood, companies can utilize reputable advisors professionally with long experience in China, whose track records and relationships can be independently assessed. Beware of individuals claiming to be related to a government official that doesn't work. Seek natural alliances, identify institutions and individuals who will benefit from your success and seek to engage them. Similarly, identify any who will benefit from your failure or seek to neutralize them. Chinese government or Chinese officials are always concerned about the people you are going to employ. Your first priority is to take care of those people. Don't neglect any level of government, central, province, local, all but the very large businesses depend on the support of locals, provisions government, and the support or lack of hindrances in often instrument in corporate success. Don't underestimate the importance of personal relationships. Very, very important. China is changing, but the personal relationship continues to play a role in generating trust and assuring loyalty. Don't overestimate the importance of personal relationship. Personal relationship cannot go beyond certain level to help you out. Business has to be done on merits. In other words, don't rely on any one person in Chinese institution, government agencies, or state-owned businesses, not even the top person. People get promoted, demoted, or transferred sometimes suddenly. Don't think that if the boss agrees, the deal is done. Organizations, particularly government agencies and the state-owned enterprise, often have multiple lines of alliances, and even CEOs cannot overrule that. Don't assume that all Chinese are on the same side. There are tremendous differences, but they are very quiet people. They go under. Chinese people, like all people, are interested in their own private careers, opportunities, and financial benefits. Bureaucracy in China is very slow, but it really means business. Don't forget Chinese history, particularly as it may affect the attitudes and sensitivity of the people who affect your business. Don't depend on if anybody is saying that the law can be changed or certain parameters can be changed, it will never happen in China. Don't depend on a change in the law or regulations. Politics are complicated, mired in competing interests. Time's estimate for government action can mean little. The greater power of China and Chinese commitment. Chinese pride invites itself into diversified policy debate. Rarely does it dominate and determine decisions, but often it affects and influences them. Consider Chinese spaceflight programs, including the manned spacecraft, the lunar missions. Both are apparent luxury in a country which is still fighting vast poverty, but both supported by majority of the people because they want. If you had seen yesterday the launch of the space flight, how the kids were reacting. Pride expresses the feeling of the people whose civilization of culture, technology led the world for the centuries, only to be humiliated by foreign invaders. Now that China has regained its position at the high table of great nations of the world and is involved in every important aspect of economy and international affairs, the Chinese people are proud of their achievement and global positions. In every aspect of human life, from business to culture, Olympics, athletes to space astronauts, music, art, modern science, and ancient philosophy, China has its fair share today. Chinese seeks its fair share of world leader. For example, in every industry of the importance, China's senior leaders are very clear. They want its corporation to become among the largest and most successful in the world. That's why there is tremendous government support. When HAIR started in the middle of 1990, the HAIR goal was to become a leading global company. Foreign analysts barely noticed. Today, HAIR is the world's second largest manufacturer of refrigerators after Whirlpool, among the top 1,000 manufacturers in the world, and its brand name has just joined the prestigious list of world's 100 most recognized brands. China is proud that the market capitalization of its companies in energy, telecom, banking are among the largest in the world. Although economic improvement, a higher standard of living, financial successful, luxuries of life is the goal in every country. There is extra energy to achieve these goals in China. The motivation goes beyond material benefits. The Chinese wants to show the world that they are in every way a modern nation and in every sense a greater power. If this is demonstrated, require material wealth, technology, powerness, military strength, a world-class aerospace program, then these are what they must and will achieve. The change in the economic lives of the Chinese people have been staggering since 1978, where reforms were initiated in China. Chinese GDP per capita has increased more than 40 folds. The Chinese economy is now second largest in the world, and in next 10 years, it may be the largest. Average salaries are lower by Western standard, but prices are also low, so that the most people, even the rural farmers, are living for better than the income statistics, and the government is gradually progressing into the interiors of the countries for providing housing, industrializations. There are benefits announced by the government, and the agriculture, particularly, government has done a tremendous job. If as a foreigner also I want to go into China and tell government that I want to cultivate tomatoes and I want 5,000 hectares of land, government will provide me the land, reach the power and the water there, and then it is my business to do whatever I want to do there. Over 1 billion people have access to televisions. 3 decades ago, only 10 million did. In 1978, there were 200 foreign companies doing business in China. Today, there are hundreds of thousands of companies there. In fact, China absorbs more foreign direct investment than any other country in the world, except the US. Chinese corporations are selling internet routers, refrigerators competitively around the world, and the Chinese entrepreneurship has built strong private business houses on the internet. Today, 40% of the consumer goods in China are sold through the internet. China has tremendous success in dealing with non-English speaking countries such as Brazil, Russia, Iran, etc., where they are importing minerals and exporting consumer products. This has been a very successful foreign policy of China. Friends, advantage of China is available to everybody. Chinese capacities are available to everyone and anyone in the world. They are conducting business without any boundaries, reservations, and goods are available at your desired price. They are making best products, and they are producing, their products are matching your pockets. Thank you very much, friends. I sincerely appreciate your listening to me.